So this is if you have completed the first section, and if this is all you can do right now or all you have done, this is still an achievement on its own. And some painters just leave it here and get to painting because they like the looseness of it. But personally, I want to go into more detail with it, and I'm gonna, I think, make it into a full drawing. But in regards to painting, this is already a good milestone to understand large shapes and proportions of your subject. So now for the second section, we'll go into more detail with it and find these smaller shapes in these much larger ones that we have drawn. So I think we'll start somewhere easy, like the helmet here. We can start in this square, well, this box, in box number 8. You can see that it is, the top of the helmet is split into a bunch of tiny sections. So I'm just gonna put a line that will start probably like 1/3 of the way down right here. And I'll just make another line that comes down into here, slightly like this. And then I see another darkened line that comes right up here. And then it cuts a slice like this off of this corner up here. Look, it kind of comes down like this. Here we can see a line that comes right out of the corner. Comes right there. And we can see, I'm just going to draw a line where the top is, just a guideline. You can see that I'm just going to guess right here about roughly one quarter of the third box. I'm just going to put a little sliver here. I mean, a little slice that comes out of the 3. And then bring it down here. And then from that slice, it branches out another line, and from here, another V shape forms. Kind of like this. And don't worry about if it's not exactly like the photo. I'm sure mine isn't exactly like the photo, but you know, it would be boring if it was just a perfect printer copy, I'm sure. Your little quirks give it the individuality. I'm going to just clean it up a bit. Where's my... Oops, I cut a little bit here. Okay, something like that is good. Just gonna bring this out further. Okay, that seems fine. So then we are going to go into the fourth box here. And go to right about here where the top is. And then I'm going to make a little dip. And then also just another V shape here, like this. And then we can see in the 18th box, wait, sorry, the 10th box underneath, a little dip here comes out, just like in the reference. I'm just gonna put that dip here. Then I'm just going to make a line here that comes out. A little beyond the middle of this box number 4. Like this. Sorry, it's a bit messy. Where's my thing? I keep losing it. Something like this would be good. cut a slice out from here. Okay, then here's where they start to slope downwards. So I'm just going to it's kind of like steps here, you know. There's one step and then another step and then one and then sorry, I don't know why I'm stuttering. And then there's a last step here. So it's kind of like this. See? And here it comes from a little beyond this corner. And then it comes down here. I think I'm going to move this, like this section here, I'm going to move it slightly to this side because this seems to come out a bit further. Sorry, I know all these little sections are confusing. Here, to make it less confusing, I'm going to shade them in slightly just with the same 2H pencil, just so you can kind of differentiate them a bit better, because I know it's difficult, like all the little folds and stuff, so. See this one that kind of looks like a Y? I think the dip in this is a bit. And then here, another Y. Very skinny Y here. And then another here in the corner. I hope that kind of makes it easier and less confusing with all the little sections that we're doing. Shade in this one here to help as well. Okay, so I hope this makes it clearer. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going. This one comes, and then it gets a tiny, teeny tiny sliver out from this box. Shaded in. And then down here in box 11, we can see, what can we see? We can see, sorry, I'm trying to map out where these are gonna be. I'm gonna guess right here. And yes, it will come out right here. So let's just do the steps thing again. That seemed to be helpful. So there are 1, 2, wait, there are 1, 2, 3 steps, like this. So I'm going to just make this into a little V here, a horizontal V. And I'm going to curve it down. Wait, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm getting so confused here. I'm just gonna do a very simplistic. So there are 1, 2. So in this half of the box, there are 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna put one skinny section, and then oh yeah, I think I know what my problem is. I accidentally did them a bit too high. I mean a bit too low. So the first section will be here. Then the skinny section. And then a larger section that will start here. Okay, oh gosh. And then you can see it make a kind of circle here. Kind of comes down here. And then it takes a sliver out of box 18. Okay. So there's a very skinny section here that is shaded. And then a fatter section here. And then a skinny C shape that comes down here. And I think the end here kind of slopes down a bit to make that C shape. And then it comes right about here. That's what I would guess. And then with this fatter section that comes out, let me clean it up a bit. This fatter section here will end, and then this little hill comes out right here. Okay. We're getting somewhere, definitely. I think I'm gonna shave off a little bit of this C shape here. So then I'll just split it into 3 sections here. 1, 2, and then 3. I think I was getting a little too caught up in fine details. Anyways, then we can see from this C shape, the line branches out that connects with these. Okay, then I see from right here, there is a kind of, there's a curved line that comes down. It's like this, I see. It makes this curved line up here. Like this, I would say. But anyways, I think, hold on. That curved line is right around the middle. Okay, we'll just do here, and then we're gonna also do this part of the helmet too. So next we see 1, 2, 3 lines that come out here from the circle, and they are curved this way. We see 1, we see the second one here, Then I'm just gonna add a little V shape here, just to kind of mark it and make it easier to notice. And then we see this shadow here kind of goes into here, and then this line also goes into right here. Okay, then I think I'm going to bring this line up a bit, clean it up. I'm going to exaggerate that dip between them, and then I'm going to divide them with a line and another line down here. That might be a bit too much detail for this point, so I'm not going to do all that much. I'm going to shade this in a bit. And I'll just add one line here. Okay, so let's circle back right here and do this layer. Now we can see that there's a line here as well that starts here within the corner. And then it comes out and it slopes down parallel to this line up here. And then it kind of just ends right here. So we'll just make note of that, and we'll get started here on box 9. So I see a slight line here, cutting a slice out. I see one here. I see a very faint one here. And then I see a line here as well, kind of parallel to this one up here. And this one is also underneath, but not exactly connecting to it. I think I need to bring it in a bit more to the right, actually. You know what? I'm actually going to number these. Why not? I'm going to number these sections here. 5, 6, 7. Just redefining them a bit because they get faded with this pencil. And anyways, I'm just numbering them because I get confused with all the sections, so it's just easier like this. Anyways, my lines are here, so 1 is underneath here, 2 is here, and 3 is also near this 4th section here, and then 4 is also parallel to this one. Oh my goodness. I don't know why that one was so tricky to do. So this box is a bit quicker. We see the lines are a bit more faint as it's a darker area here. And then here, right here where this kind of section ends, I'm going to put a line here like this. And I'll put one here. And I'll put 2, then 3, then 4, just like that. This part is more so tedious than it is difficult, and I'm trying to get it to be accurate as much as I can right now, but don't dwell upon it. I think I should stop dwelling on how accurate these little sections are, because I'm sure it will come out different anyways, slightly different than the original, and that's fine. So then I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to connect it like this. You can see that there are a bunch of little squares, and I'm just going to connect them with this top section like this. Like that. Now it's sort of getting some dimension in it. Then I'm just going to work here. I'm going to extend these lines I made to this box, and here it is kind of like steps as well. This one needs to be a bit more narrow. Let me change it a bit. This one kind of just comes here. gonna shade the little edges that are darkened between the sections. And then there's a little curve right on this line here of box 11. Then there's one line here that's very high up in the corner. It curves down. And then a very faint one here. And finally one line here that splits these two in half. And once we get here, there are two lines here all shaded in to show what I'm talking about. And then finally we get to the end of this section of the what am I saying? The section of the helmet. I don't know why I'm doing this so late, but I'm determined. Anyways, I'm just gonna shade here to just kind of show and differentiate the sections so it's not very confusing. So now we have some detail and it's looking more alive. Now, when I was talking about the tops of these here in the helmet, this part also has them, so I guess we're at the stage now where we can sort of define it more and add them. It just seems like these little, I'll say wavy lines like this. And then I'm just doing these little clouds, like how you would draw clouds, just like this, and then I'm closing it up like that. Then here I'm just doing little sections. You can see it, it's kind of 3D here, the shape. So I just added a line here and connected it to make more of a 3D shape. Because there's very faint lines here, like this, so you just make it parallel. And then you add the top here, and it creates that, more 3D effect of it. And then once you get here, just like with this, you don't see the tops of the helmet anymore. So I'm not gonna put them there. So I don't know if this will be too slow or take too long, but I guess for a beginner, if you are going slow, I guess this is a fine pace to follow. Let's see what we can do now. I think we can go a bit downwards here and work on the little swirl here of the helmet. Oops, sorry for the shaking. Alright. I edited out when I drew this swirl because I realized I did it a bit too big and I didn't want you to follow me along in that mistake. So my mistake was just focusing too much on that specific swirl and less on the overall design, the overall shape and flow of the design. So I am gonna keep this sliver here in box 16 and I'm gonna see that it slightly comes out here, but not that much. Like this actually. Then I'm going to see that it comes out here to the corner. Like this. Then I'm gonna see this angle that it makes. The angle is acute. Yes, here. And it kind of curves out where it's like this. So then I'm going to see that it creates, oops, sorry, right in the middle of this box, there will be a triangle right here. A triangle will form and one point will be from the middle. It'll be more like this, actually. Wait, sorry. It will be more like this. Slightly lower. So, don't look at the swirl here, don't look at anything. Just look at this triangle here, and then this line that comes here. And then we can see how that line branches out to here in that box. That actually tells me that I need to make it a little bit more narrow for here. And then right here, this C, not C, but this line here comes out and cuts off that end of the box here. Goes slightly here into this corner. Now I see that I need to make this line here for the swirl a bit more steep, like this. Because also in here, there will be two other lines that kind of intersect. If that makes sense. I'll try to highlight it better. These two lines intersect and then become right here. They trail off into the helmet, and now I see that I should change the position here of the helmet. But that is okay. So this is just what I'm noticing right now. This line needs to come up a bit. So yeah, it's a bit confusing, I know. And then I see I'm just gonna put 3 little heads right here. And then they come to about the middle, like this. So that actually tells me that I need to bring this line down here. I'm sorry, I know the design here is very confusing. Like, I literally messed up on it the first time. But it's just, once you do this enough, you can kind of see the trial and error within it and make your own judgment on it and be able to correct yourself. Yes, that is looking better. So I see that the swirl only takes up about 1/3. I mean, it ends at about 1/3 of the length here, so I'm just gonna split it up into 3s. And I'm gonna say that the swirl will be right here. And then this line that comes out of the swirl is going to come right around here and sit on this line, on this triangle that we made here. See, like, this is where I see it happening. So my mistake before was focusing on one detail first. Sorry for the shaking. My mistake first was focusing on that one detail up here, whereas I should be focusing on the entire flow of the design on the helmet. So now I see this triangle being formed. I'm just going to shade it in. It comes down about here too. Why does this keep shaking? Let me see. Okay. So for the swirl, I'm going to just make a C here, like this. A very simple C. I'm going to make it a bit higher actually. And then I'm going to make a little smaller C inside a little circle and And I can correct it and shape it later. But I'm gonna think about the angle that it makes here with this line. I can even shade it in a bit. Then I can see this swirl down here. It will be something like this. I'll keep it rough for now. Then I see, what do I see? This line comes here. Okay. Now, here we see these 3 lines come out. I'm just gonna shade in this part. Just a bit to remember. Because here it will be very dark. So I see 1 line here in the corner. And then 1 line here next to the head, like that. I'm marking down the timestamps when I'm sharpening my pencil so I can cut it out. Anyways, let's tackle here since we're on it. So I think this is good here. You can see these lines come in a very they trail down into this box right here. And then they just kind of fade out. I'm trying to see if I should make the head a bit shorter. I don't think so. I think it's fine like this. But we can tackle what's going on right here. So I see 1, 2, 3. 3 lines. I see 1 coming out here. 1 that connects kind of with this line, comes out here. And 1 here, so just like 3 C's, kind of can darken them a bit. So three C's here, 1, 2, 3. I'm just shading this part. Now we see underneath here is a little, section that comes out here, and then one that comes out very slightly up here. And then I'll just shade here since it's more just shadow. And then you can see a very small little, I think I even made it come down too much, but a small little C here come down. Just like that. So now we can move to here where we should fix some things. I think I definitely brought this front of the helmet out too much. So I'm gonna go and bring this line in more. Where's my... It definitely should start here. And then it takes a little scoop here. And then comes right about here. Okay, I think I will change this line as well. Yeah, I should. So then, first here with this line, we also see it's thick right here. Let me see if I'm doing it right. Yeah. And it dips in. Okay, so then right here, I'm going to make this line that comes right about here. I'm making it further away. Yeah, here should be good. Thinking of the angle it's making here with the corner of this box, kind of like a teardrop, or half a teardrop. think I should bring this line a bit more narrow. And I'm bringing it a bit more farther here. Seems more accurate. Because I remember I do have to put these swirls in here. So I'm trying to see how much space I should leave. Let's see. So these would have to come out right here. Like this. A little bit less curved than that. And then this one would have to come right here. Yeah, that seems like it would be accurate. I'm just gonna darken these areas here. And then they are supposed to connect right here. I feel like the thickness of these two lines is a bit too much. I'm gonna tone it down. Because I feel like maybe that's taking up unnecessary space. You made them much thinner. And I think I'm gonna bring this one a bit closer. One second, I dropped my eraser. Oops, sorry. This thing is so wobbly. Okay. Because I'm thinking about the shape that this makes here. comes out right here at 1/4. I think I'm going to curve it this way. I'm moving on to this box here, box number 14. I'm just making these things higher. And I'm thinking of the shape this makes, so I think I got this shape here pretty well. Perhaps I need to bring this line up a bit. Goodness. Okay, I think the shape is coming together. I'm sorry, it's hard to explain every little thing I'm doing because it might be different on yours. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm just looking at the reference and I'm adjusting mine to fit it much better and be more accurate. And I'm doing this by looking not just at the line, but the shapes that each line forms and trying to adjust my drawing to look like those shapes and have the same shapes as much as I can. So at the head of the helmet, I can see that right around here, a curve forms. And then here there's going to be a star, but we're not doing the star yet. The forehead starts like this, and it's we did a diagonal line, which is good because it does go diagonally, but it curves down like this. Let me make it more clear. So the forehead seems to end right here. So there's a hill and then a larger hill like this. That looks about right. It might be a bit less curved than I have done. That should be good. The hair will come right here on this side and then right here. I'm looking at the shape that it will make in relation to the corner. It will make this curve outwards, and then it will curve right here. that is roughly what the hair is going to do. Then we can see the eyebrow makes this little triangle right where the forehead ends. Makes a triangle here, and then it comes up right about here in this box, and it just goes down. Maybe it, let me see. Yeah, I think that is fine. I'm trying to see if I had enough room for this. Hold on. I feel like I should bring this up a bit, and there needs to be slightly more room for the forehead. So I see that it makes a curve here, and then it comes up like this. And then the hair, I think, comes to here. Yeah, it comes to the middle of this box, like right here. So that would mean that this part is moved slightly upwards. That seems a bit better. I'm just gonna leave it like this. If we need to change it, we will. Okay, let's move down here, define that nose. Sharpen my pencil, 1 second. My pencil's getting so small. Okay, so let's just think of this shape that the nose makes. So the nose makes this, well, it makes this shape here, this triangle. Like that. Okay. So it's like slightly down, just a little bit. I think I might have even done it a bit too much. Let me just erase it and start from scratch. So it goes slightly down like this, and then it makes a triangle out of this corner in box 20. Then it barely touches here, and it ends, sorry for the shaking, it ends basically in the middle of this box. So the tip of the nose is round. I'll add that. Let me zoom in. The tip of the nose is round. And I see a curve here, like this. And then it goes into down here and makes a bigger curve. That's just what I see. I'm just doing very simple shapes. I see one circle here and then one here. Then I see a darker shadow, which is the rest of the nose underneath. And then I see that it makes this curved shape right here. So that's how I drew the nose. I know you have difficulty with noses, so I try to break it down into these simple shapes. That should help. And then here I see that the side of the nose here is less round, more straight like this. And then I'm lightly, very lightly noting the highlight of the nose bridge and then the shadow that will come here. So I think that nose is good. And now that we have this shadow here and this curved line right here, we can put the mouth. Erase. Okay, so the mouth comes right here, about where this circle here upon the nose tip starts, like this. Okay, so you might see that there's an erased lips here, and that is because I made a mistake where I didn't properly size them out before adding them in, which this is what I will do now. So I see that the chin comes right around here. So I'm going to put the bottom of the chin as I see it. Right around here. I see that the lips come right around here. Kind of where the ball here from the tip of the nose is. The middle of the lips should be right here. So I'm just going to add that. The corner of the lip seems to come right here, a little bit beyond the nose. And I see that here the shape comes out a bit like this. I see that the oh my goodness, why are the lips so hard? Okay. Please God help me. So they're just so small. They are the size of my finger, and the harder, I mean the smaller it is, the harder it is, but so it's definitely, they definitely start higher up here. At around 1/4. So I'm going to put the lip line here. I'm gonna put that heel here where the lip is. And I'm going to put the bottom lip here. And I'm gonna see what I can change. So definitely made them too small now. And I did say they should come out around here. And the lips make kind of a 7 shape. Not 7, I mean more of an obtuse angle. The way that they come out. This is roughly the size it should be. Yeah, and then I'll go in and do the details of it a bit later. But hey, at least it's somewhat more proportionate than the way I did them last time. Okay, that is too angular. I'm just doing the chin now. Like, the lips are hard even for me to do, especially how small they are. I guess I just started with very simple blocky shapes to do them. Okay, now for the chin. Well, okay, should we do the eye? I forgot to do the eye. So the eye comes down to about 1/4 of this box. I'm just gonna mark here. This is where I think the eye should go. And you can see the eye comes down from this eyebrow here. I'm gonna make a bit of a diagonal line. It's a bit hard since it is small and there's no grid or line here to really help you besides this one up here where you can see it starts. And I guess you can see that it does create this shape here. With the grid, it creates this little U. I think it's called parabola, like this. So then I just go up here and I'll just shade it in because this is the shadow, and I guess shadows will help us decipher where things are more accurately too. So I'm just going to put a line right here. This is where I think it will be. Then I'll put a little idea of where the eyelid will be too. Now I guess I can see that it's creating this kind of triangle here with this corner and then this where the eye starts. It does. So we can use that to help us. The eyelash here comes out a bit further than the eyeball. Eyeball will be right here. That is too small. see. Okay, so sorry, I'm trying to measure out where the eye is supposed to be. I'm not gonna make the same mistake I did with the lips. I'm just gonna have very simple shapes here. We have the triangle here that creates the eye, and then I'll add the bottom lid. And then you can see it a little. I'm gonna faintly draw a circle where the cheek comes out. And then here, I might as well, while I'm here, the hair comes very close to this line here. And it can help us kind of regard where certain things will be. So if here's the hair, and then here's the chin, let's see. First of all, I think I made him smile, and he's not really smiling. Wait, I just made him smile again. It's more like that. I don't know. I think it's just like I made a smile, like upturned curve here. Second, I will erase that part of the cheek here. Third, with the chin, I need to round it better. It slopes downwards, not upwards. So, sorry for that shaking. I keep bumping into it with my leg. So this is not exactly what it's supposed to be. I'm gonna make changes on it. First of all, I see that here is a diagonal line, but I think it should be a bit more, there should be more space here. Like I want to bring this in. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna bring the chin in first. I think the nose is good. It's just this lower face. I'm not saying that what I did was not good. I'm just saying I need to bring it in a bit lower here. So I'll leave it in when I'm editing it. I'm doing everything I did. I'm just kind of making it a bit further in. Yeah, this was a good call to make it more inwards. Okay. So I'm just gonna go in a bit more detail now that I got this under control. Or more under control than before. Okay. So then I'm just going to put a little thing where the chin is going to be. I'm just going very rough with the lips and the nose and just the eyes too, because this is still the rough section to sketch. And when you are painting, you sketch beforehand, you do not have to do it detailed. Like, this would be good enough for painting. So please don't stress on the facial features, especially when they don't take up a lot of the composition. I'm just shading in here where the chin is going to go. I'm seeing the shape here that is being made. The slope here. And then it is a curve here. And then down. That it looks good. I'm gonna shade a bit here. Then I'm going to do this square here. I haven't done much here. The ear, I started it right here. it's a diagonal line. You can see, if you look closely, you see this little triangle that is cut out in this box by the ear. So for the ear, sorry I'm not talking so much. I don't know, sometimes I get focused and I forget to talk. But anyways, for the ear, I'm just gonna look at the big shape that it's making. So I see this shape right here. I see that I think it comes up a bit more. So I don't want to, because there's space here that I don't want to take up. So I'm just going to say it comes up right around here. So for the ear, I see I see a very dark space, this curved line here, and then it goes up, and then creates this like little moon shape, I guess, here. That will be the very dark part of the ear. I see this line here as well. I'm just going to shade in this very dark hole inside the ear. Then I see another line here that wraps around this. Then it kind of, shades here. Now I see that I think I put too much of it into this box here. I'm going to cut it off and trim it just a bit. And then I see a line here. I honestly, you don't have to learn how to draw ears. I mean, it's helpful, but when you're painting an ear, just like how you would paint hair, you don't need to do it on a very detailed sketch. So don't worry so much about the ear. Personally, I hate painting ears, and I try to avoid it at all times because it's just very tedious. So then you see some of the hair kind of trails off into the ear, next to the ear. You see a line here that is kind of parallel to this hole here, this dark hole in the ear. You see a line come out, which is, I think, the part of the lobe right here. Then you see this strand of hair that comes out right around here. And it widens up here. So I'll shade it in, I'll shade in all the hair here. I'm still using my 2H pencil, so it will be light shading. Up in this box, I do see a line here for the hair, like this. I see another line here. and it extends to this strand here. I don't want to go into too much detail on the hair, since I guess that's not what this section is for. But I'll add some of the shading and a few of the sections of the hair that are important. I see a circle here. It comes to about right here. I'm just gonna put a little swirl where that will go. Sorry, I see after this swirl here, you don't have to, by the way, when you're painting, like I said before, when you're painting hair, and you do not need to have all this detail beforehand when you're painting hair. This is just extra. So it really doesn't matter how good you are at drawing hair. I mean, it does help with, I guess it would help with the skill in painting hair, but when you're making a sketch before painting, the drawing of the hair that you're doing really does not matter. Then I just see a little like J that comes out here. And then I just see these little J's, that's what I'll call them, come out here. They come a little bit into this box, but not much. So I'll put these little J's and then they just go blend into the jawline like that. So that's what I see when it comes to that. Now we can move on. Did I trim this already? We can move on and go to this square here. So here's just more of the design of the helmet. So just like how we did these Y's here, I see these Y's or V's here as well, connecting these three heads. So I'm splitting this into half, and there's another swirl that comes up, and I see it probably going to be right here. That will be connected. Then I see these two lines here, they will extend down here. I see these come down here and they connect here with this. like that would be good. This one kind of just blends in actually with the shadow, because there is a big shadow that is casted here. And then you can see there's a line here. I'm just shading in the shadow here. And there's a shadow here as well that I'll just put. Then you see under the ear, there's a shadow here as well. And then you see these two lines here, 1 and 2. I think I should move them. 1 second. I'm gonna start over on these lines here. Okay, so I see one line that is coming from here, and then one that comes from the lobe of the ear, right here. The earlobe goes. So this one creates a kind of triangle, like this. And then it goes down here. Like this, you see this little triangle comes down as well. And then here's all shaded. Let me see if I'm positioning this right. This is all happening right here. Okay. So a little above half of this square rectangle, you see this part of the armor that attaches with the end of the helmet. I mean, this part of the helmet that ends right here. Sorry. You can see the line. It starts here and then it slopes upwards very slightly. And then there's a parallel line above it that also slopes upwards too. And then you can just kind of shade it here because it is very dark, so there's not much going on. You can see underneath these lines up here, you can see 1, 2, wait, I can see, hold on, I'm going to bring these lines up a bit upwards here, because they end right here, not in the box below it. So give me a second. So this kind of ends up here. Like this. And then this one just kind of blends in with the shadows. Okay, sorry about that. Then I'm going to see that there's 1, 2. And by the way, this is the back of the head that got erased. So I see there's 1, 2 little C shape, I mean little J shapes. Here is going to be shaded. And then I'm going to just make them into, I'm going to connect them like this to each other. And then I see also a line up here that I'm just going to add. Then with these little U shapes, I'm going to darken them a bit, and they get a bit wide up here. And then there's a shadow right here also. That kind of comes down. So I'm just roughly sketching the design. As you see, it's very dark here in the reference, so I don't do much shading. I don't do much detail since it will blend in with the shading. I think I should go to sleep soon after I do this one. So now with the swirl here, since we kind of placed out the rest of this helmet, I can just add the swirl here. I'll go like this. And then I'll just shade it in kind of right here and outline it like this. And then I'll shade around it here. Since this one is very simple, then I'll also add this line here that wraps around it. Now I noticed here when I was looking at the eye that I made it a bit too big. So I'm going to make it smaller. Then there's a little shadow here that I'm just gonna put. You don't have to worry about the detail of the eye because you're gonna paint over this. But I'll just note the shadow that comes down. I'll note this tiny little lash line here just to be part of this. And I've made it upturned. His eye is a bit downturned. The eyelash line is downturned. So I'm gonna fix that. Now we gotta do this right here. So we did this here, which is good. We'll start right here in box 18. I can barely even see the numbers here anymore, but that's okay. So there's a line here that goes in the box next to it. Then there's a little corner here that extends into this box that I just shaded. Then there's a little line. I'm putting just the starting points of the sections that will come. So this is our starting point. So we can see that here is going to be all dark. Here also will be dark. And then from this, we'll extend a line that will go all the way up to right here. Like this. And this one will come and be pretty much parallel with this line. So here we have these now. And then this line kind of goes into here. But anyways, next is this one right here. It creates this little square. And then it slopes down right here. I'm just marking where roughly it's going. You can kind of eyeball it with these big shapes. These tiny shapes is so difficult, like the mouth and nose. But these ones, you can kind of eyeball where they are going. There's a line here, very small. Then this black one that comes to this corner here. And just outlining it. And it will come up right around here into this box. And then there will be another line that is pretty much parallel to it. It comes right around here. And then here will be the end of the helmet. And then these, though this line is apparent, this part is just going to be very dark anyways. So I'm just shading it in. So here, here. And then here, the shading takes a detour down here. And then a small part of it goes and creates this new line that comes down here. And then the rest of it goes here. I know I'm not being so descriptive when talking about it, but I hope you can just kind of see the flow of it and where it goes. I guess when I'm making this, I'm just kind of saying my thoughts out loud the way that I'm thinking about it. I'm just repeating my observations and thoughts, and I hope that helps. So we did most of the form here. I think now all there's left is just the hair here, these little curls. Like that. Just a little J, and then I connect here like that. Here the curls make a little angle as this one comes in. You don't have to put much detail in the curls of the hair. Just enough like this would be good. And then it gets a bit dark here in the hair. And then here it also gets a bit dark too. So I'll shade in this side too, just to show that there's shadow there in the curl. Oh, goodness, it keeps shaking. So right here, there will be shadow as well. And I guess since it's like a drastic shadow line, I will shade it in just to keep a note of it. But I'll just do it very faint, I guess, like that. That is good. I'm shading here as well. Here, this is part of the armor. So there's a parallel line that goes down this side, then one that goes down here, like that, and I won't put any detail on that either. I'll put the little diamond that is on there, that diamond shape. Then there's a shadow here in the shoulder. I'm just mapping out some of the shadows here, very roughly, as we're not supposed to be doing much shading yet, but there's nothing really here except shadow, so I'll just map it out here. But anyways, lastly, the shield. The shield is pretty easy. I think we put it in the right place already. I see the triangle. Maybe it should come down a bit more. Because I'm seeing the angle it's making here. Sorry about that. It's shaking. Okay. I'm just going to draw a parallel line here to the shield. Actually, thicker than that. The line is a bit thicker, I'm just making it so. Then from here comes comes another line. Why did I say bigger? A line that makes the shield bigger, and the shield does cut off here, but you can make it extend to the end of the paper. I'm just gonna leave it cut off like the original. I don't think it matters too much. Then here, I'm just gonna put the little rungs on the shield. There are 3 here in the square. One comes here. I'll put the little screws on the shield as well, whatever they are. Just seeing the little circles and where they are putting them. Okay, I think we have I'm gonna just clean up some lines. So this is section 2. Oh my goodness, that was a long one. And this is so this is a bit more detailed than what I would use to paint. I got a bit carried away there, I guess, with the little details. So if this is very hard for you, don't get discouraged, because you don't need to know this much detail and have this much, fine shading like this with the little swirls and hair curls like that. You don't need to. This is, I guess, just for the drawing, but this is section 2. Sorry I got a bit low energy at the end, but I hope that I was still clear in my drawing.